Good day, dear viewers, and welcome to yet another scintillating session of the video interview of the Shoukat Star, India's one and only audiovisual magazine. Every month we try to bring to you a personality, a very well-bred personality from the shipping industry, and we have a chat and informal discussion with him to understand his way of work and how he or she is affecting the lives of so many people around them. So today we have none other than Mr. David Birwadkar. He is the Vice President and the Head of Training and Assessment of Great Eastern Shipping, and we welcome David. David, thank you so much for your time and today, and we're going to just have a small chat with you.
Sure.
And for our interview session in the Shoukat Star, and looking forward to the very up close and personal discussion which we're going to have today with you.
Sure.
Today I am in conversation with none other than Mr. David Birwadkar. Thank you, David, for inviting me for a cup of tea.
Pleasure.
And it is my pleasure to have a chat and discuss a few things with Mr. David Birwadkar. David is at present heading the Training and Assessment Division for one of the most premier Indian companies, the Great Eastern Shipping Company, and some of you may be knowing him very well. Today we are up close and personal with David, and Mr. Birwadkar, if you can just tell us a little bit, into your early childhood days, your growing up, your values.
Yeah. I have had a very modest early days, coming from a lower middle class family, and with my parents struggling to make both ends meet. So, though they have instilled the right kind of values and good points in us, but we never could get everything what we wanted. But the most important thing was that they told us to be satisfied with what we have. And with that, what has happened is that after the growing years and doing well in life, we have never felt envious about anybody who doing better than us. And unfortunately, what has happened is that my parents, they left me early. So I thought that when I do well, I will give them a life of comfort and make them proud. But unfortunately, they have not been with me now. They left early. So I can only say that they must be proud of what I've done, and they must surely feel that I have followed what they told me to do.
Fantastic, and I'm also very sure that they must be very proud, and we are all very proud of your achievements and what you are giving back to the Indian shipping fraternity. How did you choose merchant? Have you always wanted to become a sailor, or how did you choose merchant navy as a profession?
Actually, I've been a mechanical engineering graduate, and during the course of my engineering studies in MUkherjee in Mumbai, my dad, who worked as a sanitary supervisor in Mumbai Port Trust, so he used to see the merchant ships coming into the port, and he used to be in awe of the nice, fantastic ships and the ship's officers nicely uniformed, and of course the salary difference between on the ships and ashore on those days there was a marked difference. There's a huge difference. So he suggested to me that after my engineering, because I did my mechanical engineering, to take up marine engineering. So and in those days we used to blindly have faith in whatever our parents told us. So that's what I did. I don't repent it at all. And that's then when I joined marine engineering, and here I am.
What about training? As we all know, training is a very specialized line, and have you always had that passion to become a trainer? How did you come to the training? How did you want to come back to the training department when you stepped ashore?
Actually, never. I have been a marine engineer, as you know. So the likely, the process to come ashore is as a technical superintendent, which I did in Waltham, London, and then subsequently came back to India. So then it was SR Shipping, Anglo Eastern, then Great Eastern, and I have been in Great Eastern as the technical head for 10 years.
I see.
Unfortunately, what happened was that we had a couple of major accidents in the fleet, and then the top management decided that we need to focus on training. So it has been more reactive than proactive on the company's part, but nevertheless, it was said that, okay, David, take on this onus and let's have a proper training department. So with that in mind, that's how I came into training. As I said, it was not something which I really wanted. It was a passion, but now since I'm here for the last 3 years, I see that there is so much scope and it's such an interesting field.
Yes.
And I'm really fascinated, that, and I think that I'm not ruining the decision to come into this department or in this field. it's endless. And as I thought that technical was something which should take precedence, and that's what my passion was. But now coming here, there's so much to do.
And you mentioned you were in London working, and that brings me to my next question. And having a vast experience of a global, working at a global level, and then working again in India, how do you think? What difference do you think is there working in India rather than working outside India?
2 words: culture shock.
Yes.
Because you see, when you work for foreign principals or foreign owners or in foreign countries or foreign companies, when you are given the job and the responsibility, they give you the power to enact that job. And so what happens is that you take total responsibility for what you need to do. And even if you make mistakes, like you can always justify it and say, okay, what was the thought process? And if they find it reasonable, then okay, it becomes like a learning experience. So you learn from that so that you don't repeat the same mistake again. And it's acceptable. But when you come to India, you are given the responsibility but not the power. The power is shared. Most of the crux decisions are taken by the top management. And then if something goes wrong, as HOD, you're still responsible and the entire rut falls on you. So you see, there's a big difference in how it's operated.
So
Unfortunately, but as I said, that's in Rome, do what the Romans do. So I have come to live with it, and I think it's acceptable. Okay, fine. Everybody has a different way of doing things. So it's not that model is successful and this is less successful. Both are successful, but that's the way it is.
It's a very, very interesting point. And David Birwadkar today says that it's a culture shock, maybe working from coming back to India and working in India from outside. But do you think it's prevalent in all the industries or only in our maritime sector?
I think it's more. It's more or less everywhere. I mean, that's the way we Indians work. So I think that's a trend we have here. I mean, it's been there all the time.
Coming back to training, like you said, you've been sailing as chief engineer and then you transited into training. Did you arm yourself or did you spend time, money, energy in upskilling yourself, or what is the additional skills that you got yourself to come to training? Even now, do you? What is the skill development process you generally follow?
Sure. As I said, this was thrust upon me, so there was nothing where I had to I specialized to become a trainer, etc., etc. I was told to do it, so then I got into it, and then I learned on the job. And it's more of learning it through media, attending seminars, and seeing what is the latest way the training is done, what is more effective way of training, why the training requirement, which fields we need to concentrate on. All this I've learned by reading a lot of books, reading a lot on the internet, and attending seminars, because that's where we learn that what is more effectively the best way to train people and how soon they can grasp it and what all aspects we need to touch upon. So I think it's more learning on the job and with all-round information gathering. So I think.
What has been the most challenging things in the training department? We all know training is working hand in hand together with operations and all the other departments in our maritime industry. How challenging is it for the training department to make a point and to get the results that you generally want to achieve?
The most challenging stuff, and which is what management always looks at, is how to show effectiveness of training. Like that the training is effective. The management is putting, or the company is putting in X amount of money. So what are the returns they're getting in? How to quantify their returns? Very difficult, because training is something which improves the capability of the person all round, the soft skills and the hard skills. And that cannot be quantified, because anything happens, everybody will say, oh, but that's because we are getting better personnel. Oh, that's because we have now made better systems. The technical department will say that because now we are monitoring it more effectively. So very difficult to quantify. Though you can say you have reduced the amount of breakdown. You can say you are putting in less money for spares, workshop. We'll say it's all around. So if you can see a trend where it is downward and showing a better trend to the company, human error. If the human error aspect has come down by a huge percentage, I think you can say training has been effective and the amount of money you're putting in is justified. So that's what I have been trying to show to management, and that's how I think generally the trend wherever training is used to show that how good it is, or management is not just losing money by doing training which is not really important or useful, or training is being done but the results are not what they want it to be.
So it's a very interesting point you made, and I wanted to ask you here, being the head of training, and I've also been majorly into training for many years. How do you think training lags behind, maritime training lags behind from the other industries? I remember I took a lecture once, and many years ago in a school, and that time I saw the students and teachers were using digital whiteboards for the students. But as comparing our maritime industry with other industries, do you think maritime training is lagging behind? We don't use the proper aids, or we've not advanced into the new generation training aids?
So there are two aspects of it. One is that acceptability by the people who are being trained, and acceptability of the management that we need to do it to better things. People we are doing for seafarers. So what happens is they come on leave, they have a finite time at home. So part of it is being used for training. So that means that many days they are not at home. So with that in mind, they are reluctant to spend that time away from home, because anywhere on the ship they are away. And then again you come here and to spend a couple of weeks in a town which is not their hometown, generally because training is mostly in Mumbai or Kolkata or prime cities, etc. So there's a reluctance on that side. Then management, again, I said that they want to quantify the results. So training, you cannot say, okay, that I invested so much money, at the end of the day I'm getting so much money back. So again, that's something which they are concerned about, or they are reluctant to spend ample money to be in time with the trend. Nowadays we have virtual reality or audio video aids being used more prevalently rather than just classroom training. So there's a reluctance to do that or invest that kind of money. So I think that outlook will have to change overall. Secondly, I also feel that to justify their time being spent away from home and to keep them happy, so that in the right frame of mind to be trained, some basic salary or some additional allowance to be given to them during the period they are coming to Mumbai or wherever for training. I think we need to make people happy so that they know that, okay, apart from the fact that I am learning more, that I am being compensated adequately for it. The company is thinking about me, the company cares for me.
Okay, so now a lot of very serious discussion has happened over the last few minutes, and now we come to a very interesting part of our chat and discussion, and this is called the rapid fire round.
Okay.
I would like to ask you a few questions. Some of them, although it's not too personal, but some of them are maybe a little bit personal, and I will request you to just give very short answers, as to just go deep inside your heart and tell us what you feel about these. So
I'll try.
Yeah, I just sorted out. I've just written down a few questions for the rapid fire round.
Okay.
And are you ready? Do we start?
I think I'm ready.
Okay. Do you have a mentor?
I have had mentors in the various phases of my life. Like my school teachers were mentor. My kindergarten teacher was my mentor, my first mentor. Then my principal in school, she was my biggest mentor, and with her support and her teachings, I think I've learned a lot. My college teachers, then on the ship, my chief engineers and other senior engineers who taught me a lot of things. When I came to London, my technical manager, Mr. Puri, Vivek Puri was there. When I came to India, then Anglo-Eastern, Mr. K.C. Gupta, I think I've learned a lot from him. Then when I came to Great Eastern again, Mr. Vesuna, who was an ex-president, he taught me a lot of commercial aspects of shipping, because everything down the line was schooling and technical then. But when I came here and to learn the all-round requirements of shipping, I think Mr.
So
Vesuna,
who's your present mentor?
I think at any given stage, somebody who tells me or teaches me a few things is my mentor. Now present, I don't need a mentor because I think I'm at that phase of my life where I think I've learned enough. I need to put it into use. But at any given stage, even a junior telling me something which is important, you become my mentor for that time.
Okay, so we all know you have a lot of money and David is rich. But if you had all the money in the world for one single day, if money was not an issue for a single day, what would you want to do?
Actually, I have enough. So, and as I said, I have always had very few needs. So whatever I have is enough. If I get more money, it's all going to go into the bank. I don't need anything more than what I need.
Well, if you ever feel it should go into somebody else's bank, then you please let me know.
No, I'm good with whatever I have. It will go to my children in that sense, or my wife.
Okay, so what are the things, next question, what are the things you always carry with you?
I have my handkerchief. I have my driving license. I have
any superstitions?
Yeah, I have a religious book. My mom used to tell me to carry it. My dearest mom. So I have a religious book which I always carry with me.
Okay. Favorite Bollywood heroine?
Oh, it has changed over the years.
Right now.
It was saying, no, let me tell you, they were all beautiful ladies, you know.
Okay.
So it was Madhubala in the beginning.
Okay.
Then it turned to Sharmila Tagore. Then it was Rekha. And then lately it is Priyanka Chopra and Deepika Padukone.
Wow, so we've got a lot of things in common.
Okay.
Okay, now this is, you've got to really imagine yourself. Now, if you were inside a box of crayon, imagine yourself being a crayon. Which color crayon would you want to be and why?
I think it would be white, because white stands for purity, transparency. White stands for clarity. White stands for something which is soothing. So I would like to be white so that, you know, I can to stand for what I am or what I feel I should be. You know, that is purity. So white is what I would like to be.
Very good. If you had to be an animal, if you had to choose to be an animal, which animal would you choose to be?
I think lion.
Wow, like
Fearless and bold and not willing to go in front of anybody. So that's what I'll stand for myself. I'll stand for for my values. So as a lion, yes.
What is your sun sign anyway?
Aquarius.
Aquarius, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so your most embarrassing moment? I mean, some of them, you know, you might not even want to say it, but
no, it's actually none. But oh yeah, okay. Something which was in my schooling days. I was in 3rd standard, you know. They were playing this pass it on. It is a co-ed school, so pass it on. So you know you have to do something what somebody gave you, like something, so you have to give to the next guy. So this started with kissing the guy next to you.
Wow.
So
and kissing the guy next to you.
Yeah, no, kissing whoever next to you. So in my case, it was a beautiful girl, you know.
Wow.
So I kissed her. She was shocked and she started crying, you know. and then I didn't know what to do. And the teacher entered at the same time, because this happens during mini breaks, you know. So then the teacher understood that that I didn't do it. It was just spontaneity. And in 3rd we are so naive, you know. In 3rd standard, I was 8 years old. So then he explained to the girl, so it was okay, all was fine. But you know, that was a real embarrassing moment.
Yeah, in fact, how times have changed over the years. You know, we can't even think of doing such things right now, and even playing such games in school.
Yes.
Okay, so since you're in training, I've just sort of jotted down this particular question. Interesting question. If you were to describe the color yellow to a blind person, like for example, he or she is blind, and you are describing she has never seen any colors in her life. If you were supposed to describe the color yellow to that blind person, how would you go about it?
Okay, that's a difficult one, but let me try. You see, it's like I will tell a person that that it's like the sun rays falling on that person when a cool breeze is blowing. So it's like something which the sun rays are falling on the sun is shining and the rays are falling on you, and a cool breeze is blowing. So that's what it will be like, you know. So that you know that's what it like. You can feel the brightness or whatever, and the yellow. Sunshine is yellow, so in that sense, so that I would probably equate it to that and say that that's something which because otherwise it becomes too abstract to explain to a blind person how a color will be. So I think that's the way, because sunshine, I'm sure that because he or she feels it, and at the same time, like, you know, it's yellow is soothing. So in that sense, I would like to quantify it.
Okay, one piece of advice you would want to give to our present day seafarer.
I think what I followed and what I feel is the strongest point which they need to follow is, never give up, because you're going to be facing so many situations where you will feel that, that's the end, and I've been through a couple of situations myself. So never give up, stay strong, because at that time you don't have the support of your family and friends, and you are all alone on the ship, and there may be a time when you will come close to near disaster. So those times you have to know that you cannot give up. You have to stay strong. You have to stay persistent, and then I think everything will fall in place, because I'm sure everybody has the right competency. Everybody is skilled enough. But the softer part of it, that at that time when you have nobody to comfort you or give you the strength, at that time you have to stand for yourself.
Okay, this is one personal question I'm again asking you, and this because I've been watching you over the last few years, and you've had a miracle of a change in the physical aspect. I mean, when I saw you last month, and I was like, wow, how did you manage to lose such weight? I mean, what have you been exactly doing? If you can shed some light for our viewers, what is the mantra? What is it magic or what? How many kilos did you manage to lose over so many months?
9.5 kilos.
9.5 kilos?
In 4 months, yeah.
In 4 months. I mean, what is it? Diet, exercise? What?
Yeah, actually, I will tell you very truthfully, I had almost given up because I have tried so many things, and then the weight was just keeping on going up steadily. I was in the gym for the last 1.5 years also with a proper trainer. Ultimately, what happened was that then my doctor told me that, okay, start looking at using a dietitian. And that's what I've done. So with a dietitian, a proper diet, started with the detox and then various diets. Of course, my wife has helped me greatly to maintain the diet and then my own perseverance. So a total diet control with rigorous gymming, with weights and whatever cardio, everything So at least 6 days a week, and then the total diet for the last 4 months has helped me reduce. And I can tell you, and I can vouch for it, that I'm feeling so much better for it. People say I look younger, or that's fine, that comes as a plus point, but health-wise, I just did my annual health checkup. The results were fantastic, and the doctor was surprised, saying that this is equivalent to what somebody would have in the early 40s, and I'm 58 today. So,
wow!
So it helped, and I would like to continue with it.
Fantastic! Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
2 last questions. The next one is, what do you plan to do after retirement? What are your retirement plans?
I don't know actually at the moment, because I'm not going to stop working. 60 is what is the retirement age in this company. The company requests me to carry on, then I will also consider it. But also, more importantly, I am not going to quit. I will do something in the marine field. I would like to give back to the industry what I've taken from it. So that will be something which I'll be doing it. Then I also have a lot of things I would like to do for social cause. So giving back to my community, giving back to mankind, I will definitely spend some time there. So after retirement, I may not want to do a full 9-to-5 job or a line function where it takes a lot of energy and your attention. So it will be like something which is part-time or a little bit few hours a day, and the rest of the time for social causes and other good things which I have always wanted to do, but due to commitments professionally I could not.
Okay, so that brings us to the last question of the rapid fire round, and thanks for sitting through it. How would you like to be remembered?
I think I would like to be remembered as a kind and compassionate soul, somebody who has been helpful to people whenever required, a good boss, a kind and understanding colleague. I try to always be helpful wherever possible, despite professional commitments to my team and my co-workers. And as a friend also, I've tried to be helpful wherever possible. I think I've tried to be a good husband to the extent possible. I hope my wife agrees. I'm a good father to my children. So I would like to be remembered for being a kind and compassionate soul.
Thank you, David, and thank you for sitting through this chat. And you were listening to Mr. David Birwadkar, the head of the Training and Assessment Division of Great Eastern Shipping. It was a pleasure, David, to have you with us and for our interview in maritime industry's first ever and India's first ever audio-visual magazine, the Shipmac Star. We will cherish this moment with you, and hopefully our seafarers, all maritime professionals and schools and colleges and a lot of students from all across India is going to watch this and they're going to feel motivated. And thank you again for your contribution to the shipping industry on behalf of Shipmac Star and behalf of all the people who will be affected and who are affected with your training and assessment. This is a very, very big thank you from the Shipmac Star. Thank you.
Thank you so much.